From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Despite an agreement reached just last week for a 30-day reprieve on Donald Trump's threats of broad-based tariffs, America's new president has Canada in his crosshairs when it comes to steel. Trump says he will formally announce 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports to the U.S. today, including those from Canada and Mexico. He made the comments aboard Air Force One as he traveled yesterday to New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
Everybody, steel.
Including Canada and Mexico?
Yeah. Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum, too.
10%?
No, 25%.
He also talked again about wanting to erase our border and absorb Canada into the U.S.
It would be a cherished state, and think of how beautiful that country would be without that artificial line running right through it. Somebody drew it many years ago with a ruler, just a line. You look at how beautiful that is, wow, it would be very exciting.
Canadian political and business leaders are showing their ire with Donald Trump over his newest threats to tariff Canadian steel and aluminum. The Member of Parliament for the Northern Ontario city of Sault Ste. Marie, home to Algoma Steel, reacted in a post on X last night. Terry Sheehan said the steel produced in the city is used to make everything from armoured vehicles to the Ambassador Bridge. And Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet says there is no scenario where the U.S. will produce enough aluminum to replace what it gets from Quebec before the end of Trump's mandate. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other major world political leaders are meeting for a 2-day global AI summit that begins today in Paris. Heads of state, some top government officials, CEOs, and scientists from around 100 countries are taking part, including new U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance on his first overseas trip since taking office. Lawyers will deliver opening statements today at the trial of the man charged with trying to fatally stab author Salman Rushdie in front of a lecture audience in Western New York. Rushdie is expected to testify during the trial of Hadi Matar of New Jersey. And no three-peat for Kansas City. As reporter Andrew Dimbert tells us, last night's Super Bowl win for the Philadelphia Eagles left the Chiefs crushed.
For the Chiefs, heartbreak. Their attempt to become the first NFL team to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, never getting off the ground. Chiefs coach Andy Reid, who spent 14 seasons as the Eagles head coach, not making any excuses.
We didn't really play well in any of the phases. Didn't coach good enough. They did a nice job.
A rough night for Chiefs fans, but especially Taylor Swift. The crowd at the Superdome booing her when she was shown on the Jumbotron. Donald Trump, who became the first sitting president to attend a Super Bowl, roasting Swift and the Chiefs on social media, writing, "The only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift."
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Jalen Hurts has often been judged by his failings, but those doubts helped fuel the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, and now he'll be forever known as a Super Bowl MVP. Hurts completed 17 of 22 passes for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns in Sunday's victory over the Kansas City Chiefs that avenged a Super Bowl loss 2 years ago against KC.
It's been a journey of ups and downs and highs and lows, and I've always stayed true to it in the end.
KC quarterback Patrick Mahomes was intercepted twice and was sacked 6 times by Philly's dominant defense. The NHL season is now on a break for the Four Nations Face-Off tournament, a couple of practice days before Canada will play Sweden in Wednesday's tournament opener at Montreal. NHL action Sunday, Alex Ovechkin had 3 assists in his Washington Capitals 5-4 shootout loss to Utah. Ovechkin passed Phil Esposito, though, for 11th place on the all-time points list with 1,593. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.